Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wonder Wednesday, everyone. I hope you are having a fabulous day. It is going to be 80 degrees here in Minnesota, and it is the, I guess, first full day of, no, I guess it's the second full day of fall here. So if this is what fall would be like forever, that would be amazing. But I hope you're having a chance to get outside and enjoy the weather wherever you are. It's always important to get outside and enjoy nature. And for me, as fall approaches, winter is not too far behind. So it is definitely one of those days to get out and enjoy. And so for those of you who don't know me, welcome, welcome. I'm Denise Stegall. I am the CEO and curator of livinghealthylist.com. And I'm actually live in two places today. I like to do this way. I catch people on my personal page. I catch people on my business page. Hey, Jeannie, how you doing? Jeannie's also here in Minnesota. Let's see, do I have anybody over here? I keep flipping back and forth, so if I kind of look like I'm distracted, I'm not. I'm just switching to make sure that I'm answering everybody and say good morning to everyone. So if I miss you, I apologize. Good morning, everyone. So this month, September is, this is so boring, healthy aging month. And it's important, it is absolutely important. So we've dubbed this at Living Healthy List, Aging with Attitude Month. And I don't know about you, but I kind of like, having a bit of an attitude. It's kind of hip, it's healthy, it's happy, it's hip, which is the name of our Facebook group. For those of you who haven't joined, please pop over there to Living Healthy, Healthy, Happy, Hip with Living Healthy List. And that's where we share all sorts of fun stuff. So, but I think it's really important it doesn't matter where you are in life, guess what? You're getting older. From the very moment you were born, you were getting older. And truly, the question is, how do you want to get older? How do you want to feel? How do you want to, and this is going a little bit further, how do you want people to remember you? Do you want to be that, the lady with the fun outfits? Do you want to be the spunky person? Do you want to be known as that person that people could always rely on? Do you want to be the person at every wedding who is dancing from the minute the music started? I don't know about you, but yeah. Jeannie says to me, shh, I know, Jeannie, but it's no secret. But I won't tell anybody else, okay? So thinking about where you are today, how do you feel today? How do you want to feel today, tomorrow, the next week, next year, down the road? Because, I have mostly ladies on here and a few smart men, but ladies, think of it. Most of us are going to live into our 80s. That means we've got a long way to go. I'll be 50 in April. And so that means if I live just till 80, and more than likely it'll be more than that, I still got another 30 years to go, which means I need to start thinking now about how I want to age. And I like the idea of aging with attitude, or getting older with gusto, as I started saying earlier today. So we've talked about eat real food, eating for energy and for nutrition, and how that is essential for aging with vitality, getting older with vitality and energy. We talked about exercise and why exercise kind of scares people. So let me change that. Movement. I don't need you to be going to the CrossFit gym. I don't. Actually, I don't recommend it. Unless you're working with a trainer one-on-one, some of those programs really aren't good for people who are beginners. I've tried it, I've done it, it's really cool, but I've also hurt myself a couple of times because I wasn't working out with a trainer one-on-one. So I think that's really important. So let's not worry about exercise. Let's consider movement. So I want you guys to get out and about, get moving around. Here in the wintertime, a lot of us walk the mall. We do the mall walkers, which I remember when I was a kid, I used to kind of make fun of people. I'm like, what the heck is this all about? But now I get it. Because when it's cold and it's winter and you live in Minnesota, guess what? You're not walking outside when it's minus 20 and the road is all icy. So that's something I think I know is absolutely essential to continue to feel good and to be vibrant as we get older. So eat real food. I talk about that all the time. And if you go to livinghealthylist.com, there's actually a full page on nutrition that I've written. And there's some fun things that you can, freebies and things to click onto that I think will be really helpful if you're struggling when it comes to eat real food. You can always contact me from the contact form on livinghealthylist.com also. Always happy to talk about that. And the other thing that we talked about food, we talked about movement. Oh, we talked about having a positive attitude and how having a positive attitude can absolutely change your life. It can turn you into a healthy person, or it could make you a really unhealthy person. There have been studies done that show that just having a good attitude about something, even bad things, when bad things happen to people, health challenges, cancers and things like that, the people who had a positive attitude throughout the whole process did much better. So if that's not, that to me is amazing, just to think, how you deal with things, how you accept things, and how positive you can be. Now I know there are some days like are really crappy. I know that. Some situations are really shitty. I get that. But there's always a positive way to look at things. Even when you're in the, stuck in the muck, there's a more positive way to think of it. And that's really what Wonder Wednesday is about, to help you step back and think about things from a different perspective. Sometimes just hearing something that you've heard a million times from a different person changes your perspective. So we talked about those three things. And today I want to add one more, literally squirrel just ran by my window. One more thing I'd like to talk about today, and I think this is really essential, and it could fit under the positive attitude category, but to be honest, I think this really does stand alone. And essentially what I want to talk about is don't sweat the small stuff. Everybody worries about things that may not ever happen. Think about it. I bet you can list off 10 things right now. We worry, when, with if you're driving, that the car's not going to work, that you're going to get into a car accident. So, all of these stupid things that, probably will never happen. If you're healthy, you're thinking, and you're thinking, I'm worried. I have to make sure that, I do the right thing because I don't want to get cancer. Well, more than likely, you're not. I mean, as we get older, that is something that does happen to older people, but the percentage is actually quite small. So let's not sweat the small stuff, because here's the thing. Sweating the small stuff actually makes you older. Think about it. If you're worrying about every last little thing that could possibly happen, physically, you kind of feel diminished, you're exhausted. Mentally, if you're just full of all the what ifs and all of the little things, so what? My husband didn't put his clothes in the hamper. Woo woo, big deal. Is that really so earth shattering? No, of course not. I made something for dinner last night that he didn't love. I could worry about that. Oh, I didn't make a good dinner. Why would I do that? We just made something else. Not a big deal. So, worrying about all these silly things that kind of happen in our day, or we think can happen in our day, it's exhausting, and literally it diminishes you. Mentally, you can only handle so much in your brain. Our brains are amazing machines, but there's only so much mental capacity that you have for all of this stuff. And then emotionally, you get drained. When you're worried about all of the small stuff all the time, emotionally, it does one of two things. It cuts you off completely emotionally, or it makes you a complete basket case, and everything becomes a problem. So stop doing that. Just let's not sweat the small stuff, because truly when we sweat all the small stuff, we don't have that the time for the big stuff. And we have, when you think about it, we have 4 resources every day, and they're finite. These are finite resources, and I'm going to say them in wrong order if I don't look. They are energy, time, resources, and money. Now here's the thing, if we continually sweat the small stuff, number 1, you stop doing the things that you love to do because you just don't have the energy. Important. Number 2, you stop spending time with friends and family, or exercising, or doing the things you love to do, because there's just not enough time. You've spent so much time dealing with all of these silly things, all of the small stuff, that now there's not enough time in the day. You spend money on things that you think you need. And when you're sweating the small stuff, when like all of these little things, and I'm guilty of this. My knees have been bugging me lately. So I'm like, I gotta, do something about that. I have 4 different supplements that I've purchased in the last, 3 months. Really, all I really need to do is go to the doctor and figure out what's going on. And rather than, freaking out about it and kind of sweating the small stuff. And so rather than making a good decision, which yes, I do have an appointment now, rather than just, worried about it, what if I need to have a knee replacement? What if I need this? What if, really? And now I just spent over $100 on supplements for my knees, and I'm allergic to shellfish. So they all want to put shellfish in the product. So of course I can't just buy the cheap stuff that's over the counter. I have to buy the stuff that doesn't have the shellfish in it, which of course is more expensive. So there you go. I was sweating the small stuff, and I, not that I ran out of money, but I'm spending money on something that I really don't even need. So that's number 3. Number 4 is the resources, and this is a big one. You run out of hope. You run out of optimism. You run out of resilience. You only have so much of that in you every single day. For the every day, we know we have that. It's all in us. But every day we only have so much. And if you completely drain those reserves, sweating the small stuff, if something big happens, 1, you don't know how to handle it. 2, you emotionally can't handle it. Physically, you can't handle it. And emotionally, you can't handle it because you're drained. So none of this helps us with a positive attitude, and it certainly doesn't help us, age with attitude. It's kind of like, that's going in the wrong direction. So what I want you to do, seriously, is to stop sweating the small stuff. Write it down. If you're starting to, freak out about little things that are going on in your day, he said, she said, stop watching the news. Oh my God, how much nonsense and how much silliness can you get going in your brain just by watching the news? I watch the news almost every day for about 30 minutes. I get the information that I need, and then I turn it off, because otherwise it just constantly plays in your head. So we want to stop doing that. Stop doing the things that are causing us to sweat the small stuff. So when you do that, your brain power, your energy, your reserves, you'll build those back up again. And think about it, when you're having when you have a positive attitude and you are not sweating the small stuff, you don't deal with little things. There's always a ton of things that have got to get done. I have 2 pages of notes from a conference that I did yesterday. They're all over the place. I'll get to them. Part of me was like, oh yeah, I really should do something about them. Honestly, it's really not that big a deal. I have other things that are more important to do. These little things, and this is, for people who are in business, we can spend a lot of time doing the little stuff, sweating the small stuff, and being busy, and busy all day, and then not get anything done, not actually get anything accomplished. And I think that's the other piece of sweating the small stuff. You actually get less done. Whether it's in your business, in your home, in your relationships, your exercise, whatever it may be. So starting today, I'm going to ask you to stop sweating the small stuff and I am going to have you do one thing for me. I'd love for you to go to livinghealthylist.com, join our mailing list for monthly tips and strategies and different ways for you to think outside the box. And the reason for that is because we want to focus on healthy living for a happy life. Again, I am Denise Stegall, CEO of Living Healthy List. Thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate your time and your energy. And hi, Mary. Happy Wednesday. And I always want to leave you on that positive note. So truly, let us focus on healthy living for a happy life. I will be here next Wednesday for Wonder Wednesday. Hey, if you have a topic you want to talk about, shoot me an email, shoot me a message on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on Twitter. You can find me all over the place, even on Instagram. Shoot me a message and I would be happy to help you wonder and think outside the box next week. I'll see you then. Bye.